Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mitchell Yardley, and today I'm going to be doing a long-term track review on my 2.5 NC, as well as give you some pointers and tips and tricks on what you should do to your NC before you take it to the track. Let's get right into it. Some of the things I had to go through while at the track, not pertinent to everyone else's swaps, more pertinent to my swap. The cams had a problem. The tone ring on the back of the cam, harmonic ring, whatever you want to call it, for the intake side, it slipped. Obviously, I have a set of aftermarket cams. I was able to fix the problem. I have no hard feelings toward Fab 9. He's an excellent guy. That whole company is great. They've helped me out through other things as well. Common, but not common enough on aftermarket sets of cams, depending on the build, how they build the cam. I don't know how cams are built, but I know they press fit the tone ring, and depending on how they weld the circle or whatever, sometimes the tolerance can change and it can become loose. And that's what exactly happened on mine. However, I was able to rotate it back a close spot, and I was able to tack weld it. And I've had no problem since. I've had probably 7 or 8 track days since that incident, and I've had zero issues. Cars run absolutely the same. Diving right into the engine bay, the second problem that I've had at the track was the coil pack wiring. If you got an 09 to 15, probably will never have a problem. If you got an 06 to 08 first gen, you may have a problem. I would highly check these wires before taking your car out to the track. Even if you've been driving on the street, if you've noticed random kind of misfires and the car doesn't really feel like it's misfiring, usually it's those wires inside of that harness are going out. So I splice them back, put some new connectors on. They're very cheap. I get all my electrical connectors from Ballinger Motorsports, awesome guys over there, and rewire it. It's very simple. And honestly, for my car, that was really about it. Those two weird things. While filming this, I completely forgot about my transmission and my clutch failure. These are things not specific that could possibly happen if you track your car, but they happened to me, so I wanted to document it. If you guys haven't checked out that video, you can click the link above, and let's get back to the video. Two weird things. Did I bring them upon myself? Maybe the cam thing, not the wiring. That was, I'm gonna blame Mazda on that. I'm just joking. Let's start talking about bringing your NC to the track, what you're gonna need, what you're gonna go through, expenses for tires, brakes, etc. Let's dive into that. The very first mods you should do before going out to track is checking over your coolant system. The stock NC coolant expansion tank is plastic, and it can become brittle, and then it will basically explode on you. I don't know the percentage number, but a lot of the NCs that aren't on the road anymore right now, that have a blown motor, would have came from overheating. These 2.0s are pretty reliable, but you got to keep them cool. So before you hit the track, the first thing I would do is change your coolant expansion tank. Now, if you asked me what kind of radiator you would get, I personally have a Koyo Rad with a stock fan. It's not a ginormous radiator like Goodwin Racing Crossflow, which are very phenomenal radiators, but they come with a hefty price. I'm not there yet. I'm not turbocharged or anything. My car runs pretty cool at the track, and I have zero issues. For the coolant expansion tank, I have the Moroso aluminum tank, and that will make sure that thing never blows up. I wouldn't worry too much about the stock radiator. The stock radiator is fine. That expansion tank is number one to replace first before going out on the track. Check your coolant levels if you can, and you live in a state where you don't freeze to death. I would probably drop all your coolant, do distilled water and some water wetter, or a brand of your choice that does the same thing. It run probably about 25 degrees cooler than you would with coolant. Should be good. The track shouldn't overheat. The NCs aren't the best for cooling, but for naturally aspirated cars, they do fine. Most people will do hood vents. I don't have any hood vents on my car yet, but I do have the big Koyo Rad radiator, and just running distilled water and water wetter. So your number one and number two expendable on your NC track car is going to be your tires and your brakes. Depending on how you drive, it's going to be either one or the other first. The brake setup I'm running on this car is a set of Hawk HP Plus front and rear with a set of blank centric rotors. I like those brakes, but I'm looking for something better that has more modulation. The HP Pluses are basically like an on-off switch to me, and I don't like that. I like having some modulation. Now, when picking a tire for you, for your NC, don't go out and get the best thing out there right now. I've done that before. I did that on my last Miata, on my NA, and I actually really hated it. I didn't get a sense of how to drive and drive good. but I liked going back to a street tire rather than an R compound, which was at the time I was running an NT01. This is probably the best tire I've been on this car, and I'll probably continue to just use a Super 200 treadwear tire. Now you got your tire set up, you got your brake set up, you got your cooling taken care of. Let's get you on the track, but let's do it safely. Luckily with the NC Miatas, they have stock rollover protection. I wouldn't advise trying to roll over and have that protect you, but it is there. My car has a double diagonal bolt-in roll bar from MRC Cages in the UK. I got that shipped over here, and I love it. I like the bar, it fit absolutely perfect. Obviously I have nothing in the back anymore, but it fit perfect, does exactly what I need to do. So you don't need to go and get a fancy roll bar. You don't even need to get a fancy seat. I would keep with your stock seat. Don't ever use like a harness like this with a stock seat, doesn't work out. Go out there and have fun, but at least you'll have some rollover protection. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you like the channel, please subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.